How's it hanging, YouTube? Peter here, your ginger Geordie geek. Welcome back to the channel for another episode of This Is My. If this is your first time watching This Is My, this is the show where we meet a prominent member of the YouTube comic or toy collecting community. We get them to show off some of their collection, and we'll get to learn a little bit more about them. So tonight, I am absolutely ecstatic to say my guest is someone I've known for a good few months now, and I've had the pleasure of being on his show, and he's been on my show a few times. He's an absolute gentleman, and I'm sure he's going to have some interesting stuff to show you. So tonight, this is my guest, Rob, from Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics.
You guys use English different than I do. You said prominent and gentleman, and you're talking about me. So I'm not entirely sure that the English language translates across the pond the same way.
Yeah,
but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, you know what, Rob? It's lovely to have you on the show. I mean, we've done a few shows together now, which would be
just a handful,
you're always great fun, and I absolutely adore your show, which obviously you've just finished. So I'm very glad that you managed to jump straight onto this one.
I swam across, and I'm here now.
Swam across. So yeah, and I know you have got, and anybody that's watching can see from behind you there, you've got a very impressive collection of comic books. But this show is all about collectibles in general. Right. So tonight you might not be showing just comic books.
Yeah, I thought we might change it up a little bit. And aside from what you see on the wall, ladies and gentlemen, here's my comics. That's it. That's all the comics we're going to show tonight. I'm actually you are going to get the privilege, or maybe not the privilege. I'm not sure. English is hard. Of being the first host to actually explore a different aspect of my collecting.
Oh, okay, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what you've brought to show. Okay, Rob. Before we get into the nuts and bolts of the show, I just want to do a bit of self-promotion, shameless plugs for some stuff happening on my channel. So this is me, ladies and gents. Please do like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, and all of that jazz. And I'm contactable on the email below there, and also I'm on Instagram, X, Twitter, whatever the hell it's called these days, and the Tick of the Talk. I don't know what I'm doing with TikTok. Are you on TikTok, Rob?
God, no.
No. I believe I meant to do dances or something like that.
I'm not even on X. So there you are.
Yeah, I mean, I'm barely on X, but that's where I am.
In the 80s, I might have been on some X, but
yeah, I mean, billions of dollars, and that's what he came up with. X, tremendous.
Well, it's original. Nobody's ever used it before.
That's true. That's
pirates.
Very true. Yeah. So a few things coming up on my channel, ladies and gents. Or have been on my channel. I've unboxed a load of CGC books, done 2 videos on that. About 20 books, I think, split it into two boxes. Most of them modern keys. I got some nice grades, so please do check that out. I've recently unboxed my Mondo Balcat, and I'm a toy collector as well. That thing is friggin' huge, but it's stunning.
It's sexy.
Yeah, it's very, very nice. I'm scared it's going to smash my glass shelving, but I'm going to have to look at where I place that. I've done a little video about this Super 7 Cat's Lair. Are you a Thundercats fan, Rob?
Tangentially.
Gently.
It was there when I was growing up and I watched it and stuff, but I mean, I've never been like, oh, I've got to go get anything Thundercats. You know, it's like Voltron for me. I was like, I don't dislike it. I watched it. It was there. It wasn't my bread and butter. It wasn't Star Wars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Voltron's something that didn't really hit over here, to be honest. We didn't really get much Voltron. Thundercats, absolutely. That was very much my jam when I was younger. And Super 7, who are a kind of a high-end toy collector.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, have brought out this Cat's Lair. It's huge. It's exceptionally expensive. And in this video, I discuss whether I should or shouldn't buy it. Spoilers, I bought it. Yeah, so it's beautiful. Couple of other vids I've done recently. How to store graded comics. That's an interesting one. I use something called Architect drawers, which are a little bit pricey, a little bit weird. But I just like the way they display them. It means you get all of your graded books flat, you know, in drawers. They look really nice.
I couldn't imagine how much space I would need.
Oh yeah, exactly, mate, exactly. I only store my high-end, pricier books in those because it's lockable and it makes us feel a little bit more secure if I'm, not around. So yeah.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah.
No.
They're all interesting. The draws are quite nice, I think.
Yeah. No,
So
I'm familiar with them.
those two vids that I've just done about the CGC books, I've done a follow-on vid where I've looked at how much it cost us to get them pressed and cleaned. I don't do that myself. How much
Mm.
it cost us to send them off for grading, and then I've done a comparison against recent sales of the books to see whether I made or lost money if I was to sell all the comics. I collect for myself mainly, but basically it's trying to demonstrate whether you can make money if you wish selling comic books. Tomorrow we've got more about the MCU, talk a little bit about the state of the Marvel Universe, and then I've got a standard unboxing vid coming out with, as usual, because I'm very old and I forget stuff that I can't remember buying. But in this one, I actually didn't buy a book. Someone
Oh,
sent us it randomly, but it took us a good half hour to
to
figure out.
realize that it
Yeah,
wasn't clearly labeled that it was an A-OK, and you're just like,
yeah.
what the hell is this?
Absolutely. Well, exactly, because there was no notice in it, no AOK notice. I just
Right.
opened it and thought, well, when the hell have I bought that? Anyway, so there's that. Also on this channel,
It exacerbates the fact that you can forget those things, not just because we're old, but because you're shooting stuff for videos and stuff. You tend to
yeah,
stage stuff. You set it,
yeah,
and it sits there for a while. And sometimes some of those boxes, depending on what you're more excited about unboxing, they kind of get
oh
older and
yeah,
older and older. Next thing you know, like, wow, I really should open. I don't remember what that is.
yeah. No, you're absolutely. So I've got a shelf full of stuff that's to unbox, and some of it I get a bit of grief from some of my colleagues on this. Some of it I need to open because it's pricey books. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're thinking, actually, if there's anything wrong with those books, they need to go back.
I do have a
Mm,
tendency to write names now as
yeah,
boxes come in, write what it is on the box as I get it, and if I know it's something that's pricey, I'll cut and take a peek at it
yeah. Just
before I
check it
put it
over,
back.
make sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably what I should be doing. So yeah, on this channel we do some live shows. We do a Saturday Night Live, which Rob joins me on. Always good fun. Recently, I did my Marvel Phase 2 best scenes. You'll not be surprised that Winter Soldier was in that an awful lot.
Yeah.
Friday, I did a review of the week before's comic books, and then Monday night we're doing our Geeky Art Attack show where we are challenged to draw characters from the X-Men in this one, and we're being joined by a brilliant British artist called Ian Richardson, who's phenomenal. So that's going to be great fun. He'll put me to shame because I'm dreadful. I did just want to quickly mention this. This is my good friend James T. Keegan, a rare photo of him sober. James is a tremendous YouTuber. He does a lot of gaming content if you're into PlayStation stuff, and he does a lot of stuff on my channel. James has hit 1,000 subscribers today, so just wanted to give him a massive shout out
Congratulations.
and say well done. It's a great milestone, James. So very, very pleased for you, bud. Speaking of awards, Rob, you've been nominated for a number of comic book awards. So
Yeah,
which
sure.
ones were you? Best Tash, I think, was one of them.
Well, yeah. There's the facial hair and the hair and hands,
Yeah.
which I always think is fun, but it's not a. If that was the only award I won, I'd be really kind of sad because that's not it's not an award that you do anything for. But no,
Yeah.
I was also nominated for unboxing in the 1,000 to 5,000 subscriber category for my Monday mail call series. Of course, also in that same category for best duo or collaborative project for Only Slabs, as well as also for C3, and then also in ongoing series, which is not categorized by volume for Only Slabs as well. So
Yeah. Tremendous and all well deserved. I was very, very lucky to be nominated myself for best statue unboxing. So please do consider voting for everybody on
yeah.
screen. And our good friend Dr. Von Hoot, judging from that image, was nominated for most unusual penis. So that's quite nice. I'm sure you'll do well with that. The good doctor was nominated for 2 awards, I believe. So
If that's what
please,
they're looking at, I'm really Mrs. Von Hoot's got a
yeah.
really puzzled look on her face.
Yeah. So please do check out
Is
all
that a
of these
grub?
channels. Yeah. I'm not quite sure what kind of genitalia a mole has, to be fair. It's something I've
I
never explored them.
I don't think
So
it's
yeah.
anything I want to explore.
No, we'll leave that one for another night, I think. So please do check out the Comic Book Awards. It's a tremendous thing for the community, and it will be lovely to receive some votes from our good viewers for all of us on screen. Okay, Rob, before we crack on and put you through your paces, just want to quickly jump into the chat and see who we've got. We have got good old StreamYard. Thank you for joining. We've got actually, I'm going to go back. Speaking of StreamYard, it's reminded us, I haven't asked how you're feeling tonight, Rob.
I'm just ducky. Thanks for asking.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like to check. We've got good old Fuzzy, 400 likes, and Peter will strip. Jesus, Fuzzy, no one wants to see that, mate. Not even my wife. Nobody wants that to happen, honestly. And we've got Terry Steadman straight after. How about just 10 and he doesn't? How dare you? How dare you? We've got Dr. Von Hoot himself here tonight. Always a pleasure to see you, my friend. We've got Mrs. Von Hoot. Thank you for joining. And we've got my pal GP Venom. Always nice to see you, GP. I hope you're well. We're going to be doing a book review on GP's channel on Tuesday, which is a turtle book called Body Count. I've read it. It's not good, but it's going to be an interesting discussion. We've got Jesper all the way from Sweden. Thank you very much. Do appreciate that. And we've got Crouching and Slouching with C. Bizzle.
Ouching and slouching.
That's a tremendous name. I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Fuzzy saying, you mentioned English. We use it correctly, Rob.
Right. Yeah. It's possible.
It's possible. It's possible. And we've got Jack. Always nice to see you, Jack. And Sean. Thank you for joining. We've also got good old Phil. Thank you for joining, Phil. GP, love to see Pete do a TikTok dance. There's a viral hit. Well, yeah. I mean, I might not do a TikTok, but what some of my long-time viewers will know is when I first started off, I did an awful lot of singing on YouTube, which is horrific. But if you do want to check it out, I've got there's one of my videos, which is the best of Triple G sings, which is just awful. Absolutely friggin' awful.
How does it rank compared to William Shatner's album?
Oh, no one can top the shot. Come on. Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds is a masterpiece. An absolute masterpiece.
Rocket Man.
The girl with kaleidoscope. He's marvelous. I love him. Dr. Von Hoot, are you getting the cat's lair, Pete? Yes, I am. I've pre-ordered it. Yeah.
Nice. Of course you did.
Of course I did. I've got no idea where I'm putting the flaming thing. I have to see. Fuzzy, I've seen these thumbnails more times than I've seen my missus naked. I'm pleased. I'm pleased about that, mate. I'm pleased. Have I got anybody else in that I've not said hello to yet? We've got Digger Jim. Thank you for joining, Digger Jim. And we've got the Comic Vet. Chris, going to have to get you on here, Chris. Love to have you on, mate. And I think that is... Oh, GP's requesting more songs. Wow. We'll see. We've got 18 people watching. Thank you very much, everybody. Please do hit that like, subscribe, bell notification, and please make sure you go and check out Rob's channel because it's tremendous. Make sure you give him a like and a subscribe.
Yeah, please subscribe. We are just, if I can, shameless plug, just like 5 subscribers away from 1,500 subscribers. And right now, pinned on my channel is a video about the 1,500 subscriber giveaway where I will be giving away, it doesn't matter where you are globally, because I have global subscribers and I take care of all my subscribers. I'll be giving away one subscriber, an Amazing Spider-Man 298 and an Amazing Spider-Man 299 together to one person. And then, so yeah. So check out that video on how to do it, subscribe. And of course, if you're a channel member like you there, Pete, you get potentially 2 entries if you do the steps of the video, because you get an automatic entry for being a channel member. Membership has its privileges.
One thing I would say, Rob, to anybody that's not familiar with your channel is you are not shy at giving away some tremendous books. So let's be honest. There are some viewers out there who like to check things out for the giveaway side of things. Right. And what I would say is your channel gives away probably some of the best books I've seen given away on a weekly basis. 3 times, sometimes 3 times a bloody night. I don't know how you do it. So yeah, do check that out. I've shamelessly stolen that, by the way. So on my comic show,
but it's all right.
Yeah, on my comic show yesterday.
And like I said, I'm sure I'm not the first person to come up with a giveaway box, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
So
to be fair to me, mind, when I did it last night, my hashtag, because I stole it from you, my hashtag was Rob's Fat Stacks. So you got a promotion.
Nice.
Okay, mate. Let's get into it. Let's get you the first question, which is the easiest question you're probably going to get tonight. A little bit about your backstory. I want to know what got you into comics, and then I want to
Uh-huh.
know what got you into this mad world of YouTube. Oh, and we've got
Right.
Wayne joining late. Nice to see you,
Hey,
Wayne.
wait.
Thanks for
Hey,
joining, bud.
yeah, comics. I would. So I, you know, I didn't read comics as a kid. I didn't. My first comic book wasn't until I was in college, actually.
All right, right.
So in as a young kid, I was into all kinds of Star Wars and reading science magazines and all that stuff. I was a proper nerd,
Yeah,
and also Boy Scouts and all this other stuff.
yeah.
And but when I went to my college, my freshman year of college, I went to a private military college because I at that point in my life I figured my career path was I was going to be an army, blah blah blah, all this stuff.
Hmm.
Went to military school, and first year, first when you first get there, you have no privileges. You can't do anything. After the first couple months, and you get recognized, and you
Yeah,
can actually go buy something that you want to read or do something, and go down to the PX. There was a spinner rack of
yeah,
comics in
yeah.
there, and there was a shiny book that just was full of. Because this was 1992.
Okay.
It was shiny, glorious, foil goodness. Was Spider-Man 2099 #1 on the
So
spinner
that's where
rack.
your obsession comes from, then, because you talk about that. Oh, you've got a lot of that book, haven't you?
Yeah, yeah. So that
Yeah.
was the very first book that I picked up,
Right.
was Spider-Man 2099, and it was something that was there on the rack, because you were limited what you had. And they happened to have like all the 2099s, and I got into
Yeah,
them.
yeah,
And then later on Fantastic Four, and of course always Spider-Man, because Spider-Man I was aware of them for the cartoons and other stuff as a kid growing up, and I knew this story because it seems like every kid basically somehow the origin story of Spider-Man and Batman.
yeah,
Right? You
yeah,
just know them. Like you're born, oh,
yeah, yeah.
and so and as a kid, as a nerdy kid who didn't always fit in with, oh, I was a great student who's into science and math, and I was a Boy Scout.
Yeah. You weren't one of the jocks, then, I
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it.
no.
An
Oh,
American, no.
I had a varsity. I've got my varsity letter in
Yeah.
badminton.
Tremendous. Is
True
that
story.
popular? Is that
It's
a
true. No,
good?
no,
No,
not
no.
amongst. It is a popular sport here in the West Coast, where we have a very high Asian population, because
Yeah,
badminton is very popular throughout Asia.
yeah.
I was the only Caucasian non-coach on the team.
Very good. Very good. Yeah,
But yeah, so anyways, so that was how I got into comics for a while, and
yeah,
I kind of dug into them. I was easy to read. I did have some mild dyslexia and stuff that
yeah.
I could finally read and consume, and enjoyed them. And then the Clone Wars saga, the clone, not Clone Wars. I'm sorry, the Clone Conspiracy, Clone
Yeah.
Saga, Maximum Clonage, all these different clone things came out. Inspired. Maximum Clonage pissed me off so much that I sold every comic I had,
Really?
and I got out of comics, and I did not read comics again for 20 something years. And then
Wow.
my son, when he was about 6 or 7, he didn't want to read very much, and so I remember some reasons I didn't want to read, and thought, let me try to take him to the comic store, see if we can't find some comics he was interested.
Yeah.
So so then I started buying him some comics. At the same time, I'll pick up a book or two for myself, and of course I'm going to read everything that I'm buying for him. And so I'm reading that stuff, and next thing you know, he decides he's not into comics and he doesn't want to read them anymore. But I've been doing it ever since.
That's really interesting, Rob, because much like yourself, I would say I've never had a label put on us. I've never been
Right.
diagnosed, but I'm probably mildly dyslexic. I have terrible trouble with spelling and things like that.
Hmm.
And I attribute comic book reading to getting me to being able to read fluently.
Yeah.
And I've had this conversation lots of times with teachers who perhaps don't recognize comics as a valuable medium. It's not a book, you know.
Correct.
Um, but I would argue always that a comic book is very accessible. And even if you're just watching the pictures and learning the story and that kind of stuff, I find it a very valuable medium myself.
The images help to add context for stuff, especially if you don't know words or something else. Sometimes it's like that, but because the words are chopped up into these small
Yeah,
blocks. Now, don't go reading Silver Age and Golden Age books
yeah,
with
yeah,
long
yeah,
diatribes of text, but in modern books, especially where you have a bunch of small chopped up pieces, it's much easier to digest for someone
yeah,
than a full page of text that just starts to
yeah.
jumble before your eyes. Yeah.
Absolutely. So you mentioned Spider-Man 2099 there, then Rob.
Yeah.
How many copies of that book do you have now, do you think?
Today, I think I'm down to 12.
Wow, it's still a lot of copies of a book.
Oh no,
Of
that would
one
be wrong.
individual.
Probably closer to 16. I forgot the slabbed copy. Sorry, but
Okay.
I've
Why?
given away a lot of
Why?
copies. But
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of those. It's one of those things. Like there's certain books that like you see it, and for some reason they just a piece of nostalgia that you really like, and they sing to you. So you go out and if for the longest time it wasn't an expensive book.
Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
pick it up, and it's still not an expensive book, but it's gotten a little bit more. I used to be able to pick up a copy of number one in near mint raw book for $10 or less. Now that's closer to 20,
Yeah.
25. So it's not as so I don't pick them up much anymore. And I've given away a lot of copies that I had, but I have two, three, four. I have 4 or 5 copies that are slabbed, that are 9/8, except for one. I have one 9/6, a newsstand 9/6, a couple 9/8 of red foils. I got the 9/8
Yeah.
Toy Biz copy. I've got one that's double signed by the creators, that type of stuff. But
Yeah. It's funny, isn't it? There's a couple of books that if I'm flicking through the long boxes and I see them. So for example, I'm a sucker. I think you are as well. I'm a sucker for a gimmick cover. I like something shiny. I like
sure.
a bit of foil and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm a big Thor fan, but my
Right.
heart really lies with a version of Thor called Thunderstrike.
Oh
Don't know
yeah,
if
yeah.
you, yeah, yeah. So if I
I think I
see a
just gave away a Thunderstrike number one the last
did
week.
you? Yeah. Well, if I see a Thunderstrike one, I have to buy it, and that's a cheap book.
Oh,
It's
you
not.
would have been loved it. I found the other day on eBay, somebody was doing a warehouse lot buy. It was 50 copies of Thunderstrike 1, and it was like $25. I
Oh,
was like so tempted to buy it for the giveaway, but to have for giveaways.
do
But I was
you know
like,
what
oh,
you should do?
even 50 copies was too many
Yeah,
for me to be giving away.
yeah. You should buy it, right? And then for one video, just every book behind you is just Thunderstrike one. Do you know what I mean? That would be amazing. So how about YouTube, Rob? Then, so what got you into YouTube?
That's a story that I'm not 100% sure I understand, but I think sometime around the beginning of the pandemic, maybe I was watching some you. I started catching myself watching more YouTube because I was very much a TV guy. I didn't understand why
Yeah,
my kids watched nothing but YouTube, um, and I was started watching, but I was still collecting comics and stuff, and I started watching people do unboxings of CGC submissions and whatnot. And I was like, oh, I can do that.
yeah, yeah,
And so I thought, what the hell? Let's try it out. And I got because at the time I was submitting some books to PGX, and I was like, oh, give me do. I don't ever see too many PGX unboxings. Let me do that. And so I started doing these unboxings, and people started, a couple of people would be watching and do a couple things. I was like, okay, cool, this is interesting. And I was about to give it up.
right.
And then because I was like, I think I'd been doing it for like 4 or 5 months, and I was like at 30 subscribers or
Yeah,
something. I was like, oh,
yeah,
this is just it's disheartening and whatnot. And you're like, oh, but at the same time, I'm going like, who wants to watch me do this crap? And then a gentleman, Rod the Rican, a lot of people may know, reached out to me and said, hey, I'm going to shout out your channel this week. And I was like, oh,
Do
what?
you know what? I had exactly the same. That's exactly what happened to me. Yeah,
Yeah, and I
Rod's
was
a
like, "Oh,
star.
and he wanted to ask." I'm like, okay, cool. So I
Yeah,
go and I watch it, and then next thing get a bunch of subscribers from it, and I go, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then next thing I know, another month or two later, then uh, Jimmy Don Kerr from Small Town Collectibles, he. I get a ping from somebody else. He didn't even reach out to me. Somebody else says, "Hey, congratulations! We got shouted out this week on Small Town Collectibles." And I was like, "What? Who's that?" And I go look at his channel,
yeah,
and he shouted out, I'm like, dude, that was cool. And then that really kind of like this launched this whole awakening that people, there was a community of people that were nice
yeah,
and
yeah,
they were supportive and wanted to help you to succeed and do well. And didn't just want to kick you down and say, "Oh, your stuff sucks," and da 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 da. Right? And that was a side of the internet, especially that I had not
yeah,
experienced. I was used to chat boards
yeah,
and stuff where people were like not nice
yeah.
or trying to
That's
get something from you, right?
yeah,
And to selflessly acknowledge and help somebody, I was like, it really made me want to be more of a part of it and start to do more and that type of stuff. And so
Yeah.
that really kind of accelerated at that point my decision to stick with it and do more of it, and then to start doing outreach and start doing things like comics curing cancer and
Yeah.
stuff and other things like that.
That's a great answer, Rob, and I think it's very reflective of my experience. So I got into YouTube. I mean, this will surprise you, I'm sure, but I'm an older gentleman. I'm not in my, I'm not 20s, and I know that's a shock.
Nor am
But I
I.
got in, yeah, exactly. I got into it kind of just for shits and giggles, just for a
Right.
laugh. And I wasn't anticipating the connection I've made with some of the YouTube community.
Hmm.
Some of my friends I've made. And then I know, because I know we've talked about this before, I've had the absolute pleasure, and like I say, I know you've done the same, to actually physically meet some of these people now. I've gone to
Yes.
conventions with them, and it really has changed my life in terms of my friendship group, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah.
It's an incredible
I
thing,
I mean,
really.
I came from before I got into YouTube. I was an online gamer,
Yeah,
in the Star Wars MMOs,
yeah,
because I'm a Star Wars nerd. But so I was already starting to establish through the voice speak things connections with people globally and expanding my friends outside of local friends, right? And that was really a way to get out, because I'm by nature, although I can be extroverted. I'm by nature by myself. I'm very much will introvert if I'm
yeah,
in a
yeah,
group of people or something. And so it was a way to help me to break out and get more, uh, meet new people and do
yeah,
interact with new things. And the YouTube has replaced that, and I enjoy it. It's great joy, and my wife loves it because she knows where I'm at night.
yeah,
Right, I'm
yeah,
not out at the bar
yeah,
hanging out with the guys.
yeah,
Doing who God knows what. She knows exactly where I'm at any given time, and
yeah. Absolutely. No, I'm the same, mate. I'm the same. Okay, Rob, I'm going to ask you to show off your first item in a second. Just going to quickly jump to the chat. We've got Canadian Survivalist here. Thank you for joining. Read 9 books today. Finally caught up with it. Yeah, mate, you'll have to let us know what you've been reading. I've not read any of this week's releases yet, but I've read last week's, obviously. There's some great books out there at the moment. If you're into horror, the one that I've picked up recently by Garth Ennis is Ribbon Queen. It really freaked us out. It's a very cool book. And Rob, latest issue of Spider-Man, really good, really, really
I'm
good.
actually 2 issues behind. I
Yeah,
tend to collect the books, and then when I get
yeah,
like 3 or 4 copies, I read them in bursts,
yeah,
because I like the
yeah,
it's just easier to get a little bit of a story flow going than.
yeah. I mean, I took us by surprise because I've kind of jumped back on Spider-Man recently,
Mhm.
and Craven's in this issue, and I
Yeah.
thought he died, but apparently he's a clone now or something.
Well, yeah, and his son died. He died, then his clone son died, and there's a whole bunch of them. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, it was actually okay. It's a decent read, worth having a look at.
Clones have become the worst trope. Marvel has 2 terrible tropes: clones and LMDs.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. Well, I would add a third to that: resurrected mutants. Do you
Those
know what I
are,
mean?
but they're clones essentially,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. They are. You're right.
So,
The
so they
clones.
fall in,
Yeah,
they fall into the clone category.
yeah.
So
It's dreadful.
yeah,
The X-Men titles at the moment are just diabolical. We've got Old Wolf here. Thank you very much for joining, Old Wolf. Always a pleasure. We've got my pal Chris from off my shelves. I went 3 months with no subs. I thought, oh, bless you. I
oof.
thought the world rejected me. Then I realized YouTube did not push anything, and I don't know what I was doing. It's really interesting, Chris. I'm going to do a show at some point, I think, about people's experiences on YouTube. I have much the same. Some videos which I've got no understanding why they do really well, and then videos I put my heart and soul into getting out. And you think I haven't
Yeah.
got a clue what's going on there. So
Then you try to
yeah.
monetize, and then
Oh
God,
yeah, bloody monetization bastards, honestly. Canadian Survivors just read Ribbon Queen 2. Yeah, it's superb, mate. It's really, really cool. Fuzzy, immortality is a Marvel problem. It absolutely is, mate. But it takes away the impact of anything. I'm not going to get into
no, yeah, nobody
the
nobody thinks when a character dies in Marvel or in
yeah,
comics at all. Period. Nobody thinks that they're dead.
but they've even cheapened it, I think, even more with the whole Miss Marvel thing. I mean, it was literally like a week between a die and being
Well,
resurrected. It
but
was
you knew that as soon as they were offing her, because she had a movie coming out. There was no way that they were killing
yeah,
her
yeah.
and making her disappear
It's just to
when
get
you
her
had a
aligned with
movie
the
coming out.
X-Men.
So
Isn't it?
it's move her over to mutant to align her with the TV show, because the Inhumans are such. The only reason why she was made an Inhuman to begin with was because at the time, remember, Fox owned
Yeah.
X-Men, and Marvel was trying to make X-Men go away and trying to push
Yeah. Push
Inhumans,
the Inhumans.
because that's what they had control over. People didn't buy it. People didn't care.
Well, I'm-
And so Marvel gave up, and they've gone back to X-Men, and meanwhile Inhumans are persona non grata.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember them trying to introduce the Inhumans in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and it was just dire, absolutely
And it
dire.
wasn't bad there necessarily. What was bad was the TV show Inhumans that then he tried to
Yeah.
launch off.
God, I'm
That
trying
was,
to forget about that.
yeah.
Yeah. Not read that one, mate. I'll have to have a read of that one. Madness. Not heard of that one. And GP saying community's changed a lot. It has. It goes through ups and downs, I think, GP. Okay, Rob, show us something. Show us one of your
Sure.
collectibles.
So, as I said, today I thought I'd do something different. And I've talked about on occasion another big passion thing of mine that I collect, but I very rarely show it, even though I'm surrounded by it all the time, because the comics are on the wall and I'm in this little nook. But up higher, there exists all kinds of other things. And what that is it's all related to a particular movie that came out around that same time I got into comics, a little bit later in '93. This movie just kind of really spoke to me as an individual and the things I was into at the time, and I got super addicted. And now I collect a lot of stuff. It's a really deep rabbit hole you could go to, and I've chosen to be very careful about what I do collect on this, because it could get out of hand. But I'm going to show off today some different items that show the different elements of this collection. And this entire movie is based off of a child's poem book, actually.
Okay.
And that is The Nightmare Before Christmas. This is a first edition copy of the original Tim Burton poem for Nightmare Before Christmas, including illustrations. Hold on. Go in here.
So this is before the animated
This is before the movie. This is what the movie was based on. Is this particular book here? Now I will tell you, I did read this to my kids because my kids are super into Nightmare Before Christmas and stuff as well too when they were young. And
stunning.
This is not really this is a kid's book that will leave some nightmares in certain kids. But so you get all these pages and stuff. But this is the story. This is the original poem that the movie was eventually based on.
So, Rob, never seen the movie, and I'm a huge.
I hear that a lot. Yeah,
I'm a huge Tim Burton fan, so I don't know why I've never seen the movie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes some people don't see it because they think it's a kids movie, or I don't know, they're just not into it. I don't know what. For me, I liked as much as I love holiday movies and stuff to a degree, but for some reason at the time I've always been more partial to Halloween. And when the concept came out of mixing the two, Halloween and Christmas, together, I really got excited about it, and it's just something about it that spoke to me. And Comic Journey's right. There's a ton. Disney released, distributed this under the Buena Vista because it was more adult oriented than a kid at the time. And they, it didn't make a ton of money. It was a success, but it didn't like blockbuster type stuff.
Yeah.
But Disney has been milking this money machine for 30 years now. Pumping, especially out of Japan. This is huge.
Really?
This movie is so huge in Japan. There are so many toy lines and different things that have come out of it. It is absolutely crazy. In my household, from October 1st, it's a tradition. Basically, we pull out this movie and we watch it, and we watch it all the way through the end of Christmas. Because the question, of course, is this a Christmas movie or is this a Halloween movie?
Yeah.
You know the answer?
It's both. Is it both?
No. I mean, you can watch it both times of the year, and I do. Yeah. But the reality of the situation, if you really want to push comes to shove, it's a Christmas movie. And you know why it's a Christmas movie? Because Christmas is in peril, and at the end, Santa saves Christmas.
There we
That is
go.
a trope of
Yeah.
so many Christmas movies. That's how you know at the end of the day, it's a Christmas movie.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to, so many people have told us it's an amazing movie. I need to get on it. It's
It's a great.
but
It
that's
is
a
a lot of
lovely
fun.
thing to have in, a first edition. You said there, yeah.
Yeah, this is the first printing, first edition, and
Yeah.
the music that went with that is so great. I love the music and the soundtrack off that whole thing. It's so great. I've been amazed that there hasn't been a true licensed musical of all the
Yeah,
various musical theaters that have come out of stuff. I've seen people do, you know, theater students and
yeah.
stuff who've done sections and stuff, and I've seen some unlicensed school productions that have made their way on YouTube, whatnot. But there's never been a true
Of an
licensed
official thing.
musical, which I always thought with Disney, why haven't you done that? It would be amazing. Now we get the rumors that perhaps there's a live action version of this movie going to be made
Oh, I've not
with
heard that.
Johnny Depp coming to play Jack Skellington, with Tim Burton directing this thing. So does that mean
Tremendous.
am I going to get Bonham Carter then as
Oh, bound to,
Sally? Oh,
yeah. I've,
I would be so aroused.
I've met her on a couple of occasions. She's absolutely stunning. She's a lovely, lovely. So a little bit of a fact: she's actually a descendant of Florence Nightingale. So I'm a nurse, so I went to a function a while ago, in Florence Nightingale Foundation event, and she was there, and she was just the most lovely person to talk to, very down to earth. So yeah, I'd love to see her in that. That would be tremendous. Lots of people tell us it's amazing, so I will have to check it out. Okay, just going to quickly jump into the chat, and then we'll move on to your first challenging question, Rob. We've got CJ here. Nice to join. Nice to see you, mate. Love his show. Please do check out Comic Journey. He's one of the, I find, very amusing, down to earth, and challenging. I think he challenges people quite a bit. But he's hilarious. So please do check out his channel. GP, in the beginning, people used to watch each other. Now just everyone wants subs. I hope not everyone, mate. I hope not everyone. But yeah, I do see some of that, to be honest. CJ's mentioned there's an awful lot of merchandise about Nightmare Before Christmas. Absolutely. I know some of my mates have got some of the figures and the toys, which are very, very cool. DVH, Nightmare Before Christmas is awesome. Not much of a Tim Burton fan. Interesting. It's the most Tim Burton movie ever, so give it a watch. It's a beaut. I will do, Chris. If it's coming recommended from you, my friend, I will. And we've got DJ Links in the house. Thank you very much for joining. Always a pleasure to see you. CJ is saying it was the last part of the last hurrah of the great claymation stop motion. Yeah. I mean, I do like claymation. We've got obviously Wallace and Gromit and all that kind of stuff over here. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got Roscoe in the house. Nice to see you, Roscoe. I hope you're well, my friend. Tim Burton, great mind. Absolutely agree. Okay, I think I'm pretty much caught up. I do apologize if I'm not highlighting every message. Just we've got lots to get through, but thank you so much. I love it when the chat is buzzing, so I really do appreciate that. DJ Links, Del Toro's Pinocchio was stop motion. I haven't seen that yet. Those two versions of Pinocchio at the same time, wasn't there? Was there a Tom Hanks one? I don't know if that's the one, because I think two came out at a very similar time. But yeah, that's another one I need to try and catch up on and have a look at. Okay, Rob. Now, the question that sometimes is most challenging. Tell us what your favorite movie is, and I want one. You can't get out of it by saying
there's no such thing as just one.
one. Give it. If you can only watch one movie, what is it?
There's no. I can't answer that. It's not possible because there's. Look, I mean, the easy answer would be for you to say Star Wars, but the reality is these days, if I'm got to watch one movie, I'm not going to sit down and watch Star Wars. I know the story so many times, so well, in and out, and it doesn't, in my mind, I've realized that rose-tinted glasses, everything else.
Yeah.
And so I'm sorry, I'm not going to give you just one answer. I will tell you, though.
Nobody ever does. You know that?
No, I know that.
Nobody ever does.
Look, there are 4 movies that when they're on TV, does not matter. I will stop what I'm doing to watch. Even if that means I have them on DVD or whatever else, and I'm sitting here watching the commercials, wondering why am I watching the commercials on TV because the movie's on. That's the first Rocky movie. I love that. Yeah. Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh God,
I love Smokey and the Bandit. Heartbreak Ridge.
Yeah.
And V for Vendetta.
Interesting. So I talked about V for Vendetta as one of the best kind of DC universe scenes of all time. That end scene where he's, dreams cannot, is it dreams? Dreams cannot be destroyed, kind of thing. The end scene with him in the sewer. Ideas cannot, the bulletproof. Yeah, tremendous film. I don't think it gets enough love, really.
No. I can watch this all the time.
Grease 2 gets stuffed. How man? Yeah. Grease 2.
No, look, if I want to go down Grease 2 range, look, I'll go watch freaking almost any Kevin Smith movie over and over again, but I'm not going to put them in the same category necessarily. Of course, I'm not saying that Smokey and the Bandit is great cinematography, right? It's just fun. I can just watch that over and over again. So just fun.
Yeah. Big fan of Cannonball Run as well. That kind of style of movie, What about you've said V for Vendetta there, so I'm going to take that one off the shelf. How about comic book movies? What's your favorite comic book movie?
If I had to watch just one, the go-to to watch over and over again really is the original Guardians of the Galaxy. It's just so rewatchable, as from a fun standpoint, over and over again. Just the music, the vibe, the way that everything flows together. It really has probably just the most fun rewatchable. Now, if I'm going to sit there and say what's the best of the superhero movies, I'm going to go with the original Superman, Christopher Reeves, number one. I think that by far it's like it's gold. I mean, it's perfect.
Yeah, I rewatched that recently actually, because we were doing a show on DC movies, and I think it still stands up. I think
it absolutely does.
Yeah, it's just the performances in it are spot on. Yeah. Okay, mate. Show us something else. What else have you got to show?
All right, so let's go to the three same items that I
see, perfect, because that's exactly where they were in my set of slides.
Perfect. So one of the things I started going down is I started collecting movie posters, original movie posters for this movie from around the world, and so I have probably about 20 posters hung up around my house, and another 7 or 8 that are still put away that I haven't had a chance to get framed, including what you see here on the left is the British Quad, the teaser poster before the movie came out for The Nightmare Before Christmas. And then you have the poster on the right there is the bus stop poster. So if you're familiar with the British bus stop, this is a huge poster.
I was going to say, that must be massive.
It is. It had to be custom frame job. I had to have a pickup truck to bring it home because it's so big once you have it framed. And it's a light box poster, right? So it's meant to be backlit.
Yeah.
I of course did not put it into a box. But if you you can't really read it, but you can see. Oh, you can see there you go in the West End from Friday. But in the small left corner there, a little banner. It says, "Avoid the Nightmare Before Christmas and shop at Harvey Nichols."
Yeah.
And then
phenomenal.
And that was a pretty penny. And actually, this British bus stop poster, there were 3 different variants. There was one with Jack and one with Sally, and then there was this one with the mayor. The one with the mayor, there was one of these for every 6 of the others. So this is the rarest of the bus stop posters. I won't even talk about how expensive these things were when I bought them, and I bought them probably 15 plus years ago now at this point. So 15, 20 years ago. Yeah, there's definitely a spicy meatball. And then of course the next one of them is this is the theater, the British Quad, the theater lobby poster. So I thought, what better, since I'm coming on your show, I'd bring the 3 British posters that I have
absolutely
for this to feature. Yeah.
I mean, they are
some of the reflection stuff. It's really hard. These are in like my hallway, and it's really hard in a 1 meter wide hallway to try to get a picture.
So here's a question for you, Rob. They are, first of all, they are absolutely stunning. I love them, but there is no denying, the size of those. They take up a lot of real estate on your walls.
Yes.
Now, my wife allows me to have my geek cave, but my stuff doesn't come out of the geek cave.
Right.
These must be prominent in your home.
They go. Well, yeah. The main living room where I sit now in my home theater room. This was my room. I said, look, you can decorate the rest of the house. I get this. It was all about theater, and so the movie posters went in here with the theater, home theater stuff, and it made sense and stuff. All my
Yeah.
comic stuff is in my book, but the other posters, yeah, they bleed down the hallways. They don't go into our bedroom. They don't.
That would be weird.
I do put pictures of the kids in the bedroom, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they go down the hallways essentially, and that's why I have several posters that have not been framed yet, because like I have some alternate French movie posters and some Italian movie posters that are rare. Those are again are larger than the standard lobby poster size, and they just take up so much darn space that I have no place to really hang them and display them.
They just look. I mean, honestly, Rob, they are breathtaking, and obviously, I'm very familiar with bus stops in the UK, so I can. In the images, you perhaps can't picture how big they actually are. Do you know what I mean? But I'm thinking, crikey, that's a fair size.
Yeah.
So yeah, stunning. Just going to quickly jump into the chat here. Fuzzy saying hand painted movie posters need to make a comeback.
Oh, that'd be great.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely, some stunning imagery. Roscoe, I wonder if we see our custom cover.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this was a item that last year, Comics Curing Cancer. If follow at Comics Curing Cancer. Yeah. Anyways, Roscoe, great community artist. During our Friday drawing session, we were drawing items and then we were going to auction them off. Started drawing this, and then at the end, he wasn't done. He was going to continue to work on it, and they decided not to auction it off, and instead, he ended up AOKing it to me. And so it's inspired from Nightmare Before Christmas. So it's on this deceased dead planet, and my head inside the the stand-up bass with the band there. So
that's incredible.
Phenomenal.
And I think just whilst we're on, Roscoe is an incredible artist, an absolute amazing artist. He's got a fantastic show with TM Nerdy on it. It's on a Monday night here. I presume it's Monday. It'll be Monday morning for you. I can't remember. Anyway, please check that one out. Roscoe is also, you'll have to let us know in the comments, Roscoe. He's doing some mystery boxes with some original artwork.
Yes, I picked up one. It was only limited to 5 boxes.
Yeah.
I don't know if
there's any left.
Yeah, it was $100 US plus $15 shipping for the US.
Yeah.
And it was 10 books and plus one original piece, and one of those 5 boxes will contain a sketch cover.
Let me know in the comments, Roscoe, if you're still about, if we've got any of those left, because they looked superb.
And if they are left, if somebody from the UK wanted one, could they pay extra on shipping? Would you be willing to ship it then?
Yeah, spot on, mate. Chris, you should get divorced like I did, Peter. I can put stuff anywhere. That's certainly one option, mate. That's certainly one option.
I might lose half my stuff just so I have more space to put things up. Nah.
Dr. Von Hoot, they are huge. I'm going to put that comment underneath the image of him looking at his bits. Put that on the screen. I'm familiar with bus stops. Triple G. I am familiar with bus stops. Fuzzy. Sean, RoboCop poster. You see now that's something special. Appreciate all you do for C3. We're going to be touching on that a little bit. Roscoe has got 3 boxes left.
And so if you're willing to pay the shipping, he'll ship them to the UK.
Put me down for one of those, and please, Roscoe, if you'll ship to the UK, mate, drop us a message because I'll take one of those off your hands. Thank you very much. Okay, next question for you, Rob.
Yes.
Let's see what we've got for you. Next question. Just scrolling through the
blue.
Favorite color?
Yeah. I gave you the answer first, and you give me the question now.
I mean, the question was what color underwear are you wearing? But blue, nice. I like that.
Let's go with that. Maybe I don't remember.
You can No, don't. Claim to fame. Have you ever encountered someone famous, or have you ever been on TV or anything like that? What's your claim to fame?
Well, I was in radio for years, and so have I met anybody famous? Yeah, the list is very long and distinguished from, members of all the members of Metallica to, I've met Ozzy Osbourne, which is a lot easier to understand in person than he is, than you think he is sometimes. actually I saw Ozzy. It was great when I met Ozzy, and he was doing a double set. He opened for himself, so he did Black Sabbath opening for Ozzy Osbourne.
Of course he did.
It was probably like during his like third retirement tour or something.
Yeah.
Tesla and Greg Kinn band. I mean, just so all these. I worked in rock radio, and in the '90s, and so any band that was being commercially played in the '90s, pretty much, I probably met them at
Really?
some events. Yeah, because we would do. I was doing these events where some of my time at the radio station was working, helping out the promotions. Some of the time was doing engineering and other work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so invariably I'd be at these events, and we'd be at backstage events or meet and greets with the bands and all these things. Or because I was a big guy, sometimes I was being asked to be extra security for the band
Right.
or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. So, I even got to meet some bands that I really don't care about, like, Silverchair and Dishwalla and some of these bands like that. But, yeah, so a lot of that. Was I ever on TV? Yeah, I was on some news clip when I was a kid, but nobody cares about that. I couldn't. It's like at,
Right.
at a
Who was
back at a background shot at a Scoutorama event where I was gutting a rainbow trout.
Nice. Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. So, out of all of those rock legends that you've met, who stands out? Who was not in terms of being the most famous, but being the nicest kind of person you enjoy spending
being the
time with?
nicest. Okay, as
Yeah.
opposed to just standing out in general.
Yeah.
Because I could tell you who wasn't the nicest.
You're going to do that next. Yeah, do that next.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So, I would probably say the best was Greg Kinn of the Greg Kinn band.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So Greg Kinn was at the time he was working as one of our DJs as well. So I met him and interact with him on a regular and consistent basis because we were co-employees, but he would still occasionally do shows with his band and tour with the Doobie Brothers and other stuff like that. And he was just absolute blast always to hang out with. I mean, I remember many times he'd go, "Hey Rob, how much time do we have before our next set?" We go, "Oh, you got this. All right, let's come with me to my car." And we go to his car, and next he's reaching out and was like, yeah, it was a blast. It was a proper dude.
Very cool. Okay, then you let us into it. The worst.
Yeah. So the worst was Rob Zombie.
Really?
I don't know. At the time, he was still touring as White Zombie. At the time, it was a show that Pantera was opening for them and playing at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, famous place. And we had backstage meet and greet with them. And the band came out, and Rob didn't come out with the band at first. And it was like, hey, this was part of the contract stuff. So the controller had to go get him and force him to come out, and he didn't really want to be there. So he went and sat in the corner, kept his head down. As people came up to him and were trying to talk to him, he barely would acknowledge them or look at them. Basically just kept his head down, would sign something and push it off to the side and stuff. Was being a pouty little bitch. And it's like, I understand, dude, that you're tired, you did this show and all this stuff, but you got 10 minutes here just to put on a fake face for fans that actually make it so that you can tour the world doing this stuff. But so he just sucked out at me as the guy who was really unappreciative and was really kind of a jerk during that meet and greet when I was there with him.
Sounds like a prick.
I don't know if it could have been a one-off incident. I don't know. I never met him again, but it stood out.
Just before we move on, I just want to say a welcome to Dino. Nice to see you, my friend. I hope you are well. Check out Dino's Instagram page. He does some fantastic comic book reviews, really well thought out and written reviews. So please do go check that out. Okay, next item, Rob. What you got?
Well, since we did the cover from Roscoe, I think maybe we'll go to these items. These are more community kind of, or community art, or slash, not necessarily by community members from our community, but I mean, they're not unlicensed art items, right? So this is like an item that I picked up at some craft fair. That's like this made out of this wires and this, little.
Is the ghost out of glass or kind of hard plastic? Or something?
Yeah, they're like little plastic. Somebody molded them out of plastic, got these little charms and stuff hanging all over it. It's really kind of cool. And then that kind of goes along with this. This is another little item. It was meant to kind of be like a little
Yes.
advent calendar type thing. You could flip these dies around, but instead I
Yeah.
just kind of keep it set to 93, and it's got these little guys. These are just fun little
Yeah, I like
items
that.
that are like they're unlicensed handmade craft items that
Yeah.
people do that they're inspired, and these are just really kind of let me see if I can hold on.
That's tremendous, Rob.
Oops.
Very cool. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, the one piece that I really wanted, I didn't get, it was one of the years my kids' school would do these class projects, and then they would auction them off to raise money for the
Yeah.
school and stuff, right? And they did a Nightmare Before Christmas chess set where each kid in the class hand painted one of the figures and stuff. But I had to bid against every other parent in the place, and it just got to the point where I'm sorry, I can't spend $3,000 on a freaking chessboard when all I really want is the one piece that my kid did. I could care less about other pieces.
Yeah, I bet that was from those little dolls the little
Yeah,
figurines you just showed there remind us a little bit about Russian dolls. Do you know when they
yeah,
go
yeah,
inside each other? I
yeah.
think that
These
would be
ones don't do
pretty
that. These
cool.
are like little wooden peg
Yeah,
characters. But yeah,
very cool.
yeah,
Very
yeah.
cool. Quick question from Shiny Shiny here. Welcome, Shiny Shiny. Did you ever meet Pantera? I don't know if I pronounced that right.
I mean, I would probably say no. And I mean, I was in the room with them, but I never really any kind of proper meeting with them.
So the way I work, Rob, I use the comic lad Simon theory of meeting guests, which is
Hmm.
basically if they're on a screen in a room you're in, that means you physically met them. According to
Well, then I
Simon.
was in the room
So,
with them,
yeah, so
so
you've
there you
definitely
go.
met them.
So
You have
I
definitely
breathed
met
the
them.
same air.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that means I've also slept with every woman they've ever been with, right?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, I've not
that's
told my wife that, but yeah, that's absolutely how I work it as well.
that's how it works.
Um, yeah. Okay,
Seems,
mate. Next
seems
question for
legit.
you. Next question.
Hmm.
Who is, I think I know the answer to this one, but who is your favorite hero and why?
My dad. Wait, how does that
Oh,
work?
that's a tremendous answer.
I
Yeah,
know, right?
that's tremendous.
My be on at an early age, it was my dad. Very honestly, my dad was a police officer when I was a kid growing up. He would come to the school and show us all the I would got to be that kid whose dad would show up and bring
Yeah,
his squad car, and all the kids got to go through and all this type of stuff
right.
like that. Um, and even as I've gotten older, and he had forced into early retirement, had to do other things, and I've become more aware of then the things that he went through after he had to retire from
Mm,
the job and do things that he didn't necessarily want to do, and realize the things that he did for his family and other stuff like
yeah,
that. It really kind of inspires me to be a better man, a better father, and stuff and things like that. So ultimately, at the end of the day, I think dad was the best here. But if you want to go to fictitious heroes, um, I guess I'm probably from a comic book world. I'll go with Spider-Man,
yeah, yeah,
just in general because Spider-Man is so relatable to so many different people. There's always an aspect of him that you can kind of relate to. So
You know what? I think, firstly, a massive thank you for that first answer, Rob. That was absolutely beautiful. And I think it's, probably my favorite answer so far on the show. But secondly, Spider Man, absolutely great pick because I think the master stroke of Stan and the team when they were designing that character was in making him relatable, making him a nerd, making him, your thin, scrawny kind of kid who gets bullied. And
even if you weren't a nerd, but there's everybody has some aspect where they were the outcast or didn't quite
yeah,
fit in or whatever else, and could look on the outside looking in type of thing. So I
yeah,
think that everybody, there's some aspect that almost anyone can relate
yeah,
to that. And the flawed characters that Marvel created is why is just making them relatable and making them have they're not perfect beings.
yeah, yeah,
That is, and that they have constant struggles. Now Peter, sometimes these guys don't learn from some of their mistakes, and they
yeah,
relive
yeah,
them over and over again, and you kind of go, I wish you were a little more human and could learn
yeah.
from your mistakes. But then again, I haven't been a 20-year-old for 40 years, so
Yeah, 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 no, yeah, same mate. Um, yeah, and I think nowadays people might think that's kind of normal, that kind of personal life of superheroes and stuff. But I think back in the day, that was so different to what was out at the time, you know, in terms of
DC
your
was a
comic
pantheon
books.
of gods,
Yeah, yeah,
essentially, except
yeah,
for Batman, who was just a brooding
yeah. But he was a well, he was a millionaire back then, wasn't he? So again,
yeah. Yeah,
again,
he
he
was
was
super
totally
super
untouchable, you know.
rich. I can do whatever I
Yeah,
want, type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm above the
yeah,
law. I got money.
yeah, yeah. Great picks, great picks. Jumping to the chat again. Shiny things. Yeah, that's still very cool that you're in the same room. GP, we met Flash Gordon. We absolutely did. Absolutely agree. And Von Hoot saying it totally counts. Dragula still in my top 10.
Yeah,
What's that?
it's a Rob Zombie song.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, I've not
Definitely,
heard that
definitely.
one.
I do love Dragula. Although Living Dead Girl is much more I love because I am a big fan of the Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and so the
Ah,
music video for Living Dead Girl is just
yeah.
that he borrows heavily from. I love.
Super. Okay, Rob. Next item. What do you want to show
All
us?
right, so going along with this, so I do have when it comes to Nightmare Before Christmas, the rest of these are really going to illustrate. There is one character that I like above all else, and that is Oogie Boogie. And so these are Oogie
Oh,
Boogie
wow.
popcorn buckets that you get from
All
Disney.
right.
Yeah, so when you go to Disneyland,
Yeah.
you can get them at certain times. They'd be filled with popcorn, and then in this particular one's case here, it
Oh,
lights up
wow.
and stuff too. Um, Oops, I could turn that off so it doesn't stay on. I don't. Okay, it blinks and it stays on, and then
Yeah.
it goes to off. But so yeah, these are these Nightmare Before Christmas
They
popcorn
are
buckets.
superb. Absolutely superb.
Yeah,
Really well molded as well, mind, aren't they? Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? The look.
Yeah, I
You,
don't think they
if
hold
you
very
can,
much popcorn, to be honest.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
nor does
You can't get your hand in.
my giant fist, as I'm fisting fucking part of my phone. Sorry,
It's fine. Yeah,
I saw
yeah,
Rob on Triple G's
yeah.
channel. He was fisting Oogie Boogie.
There's the clip right there. No wonder I'm not monetized. I tell you,
That's right.
that's going to come up next time I try to monetize.
Man,
No,
I
you're
mean,
not allowed because
it's
there's
not
been
that
fisting of
big. I
Oogie
mean,
Boogie.
literally, I don't.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool. I like them. I like them a lot. Okay, Rob. Next question. And this is one of my favorite questions. I like this one. What pisses Rob off? What winds you up? What pushes you over the edge
You
and
know what
gets
really
you
grinds my
irritated?
gears?
Grinds your gears. Yeah. What grinds your gears?
Poor shipping. As
What did you say?
poor shipping.
Okay, I thought you said something else beginning with a W. That's why I did a double take. Oh, that's okay.
Poor's.
Oh, tipping. Yeah, it's terrible. Terrible. Far too much.
Oh, you just are out on the street. You just tip them up like cows.
Yeah.
You walk in the street.
Oh,
Hey
God.
man, what's wrong?
Okay, so
No, so poor shipping.
yeah,
Anybody who's watched my unboxings will hear me complain. I complain a lot about shipping, especially people using way too much freaking tape that you don't need to use the amount of tape that people are doing it. As a matter of fact, it increases, even though it might be safe during the shipping process. Now during the extrication effort,
yeah,
as I use my $5 word,
very cool. Yeah,
you run the risk of actually damaging the item trying to get it out because you're now using knives really close to the product or you're pulling on something now it can bend and stuff. So I'm a really just drives me bonkers. I can't stand it. That's why I made a video about
yeah,
how you should ship comics, and it's actually watching it or at least liking it and commenting on it is one of the requirements for being
yeah.
eligible for my 1,500 subscriber giveaway because I want that video to go viral and become a staple across the internet for people to go, oh, well, if half the eBay sellers out there could just ship that way, just imagine how much nicer it would be versus the manila envelope. I can't tell you how many golden age books.
Yes.
That's the ones that drive me the It's always like the really old people who have these books should know better. Or
Yeah,
maybe I'm just buying them
absolutely.
all from people who've inherited their grandfather's collection or something and just trying to liquidate stuff. But they ship these things in a manila folder with almost no support or whatever else, or else they put them in 1,200 miles of packing tape and stuff. Either way, it's ridiculous.
I'm absolutely with you, Rob. It does my head in, and I think you know I think for me, what irritates is probably more, as you've just described, really, than the actual item being shipped poorly, is my knowledge of the fact that somebody has sent it like this and should know better. That's what winds us up. If it's an
No,
expensive book and you look, I did a video oh God, maybe it's a year ago now or something, and someone shipped me a pretty expensive book in a cornflake packet. So they'd flattened the cornflake box, cereal box, and that was the actual packaging. I thought,
I made a reference to it. I made a reference on my video to a DiGiorno box because
Yeah.
that was a real thing. Someone put in a DiGiorno box. The most innovative one I ever got. Somebody took an LP. They took a comic book and slid it inside of a LP jacket with the record
Yeah.
and shipped it. So the record was the extra backing board. It's like, oh, because vinyl doesn't break.
Yeah. God,
And it
mate.
did. But
Yeah. It is. It's absolutely crazy. Particularly, like I say, when it's expensive books,
Yeah.
Yeah. Just quickly jump into the chat again. Fuzzy saying here, popcorn buckets are the collectibles of the future. Some that are available these days are phenomenal. Yeah, I watched Mad Spidey, who's another great YouTuber. Check out his channel. And he's got a collection of popcorn buckets. In the some of them, I think I'm just oblivious to this because I don't eat popcorn, to be honest. So I don't see them when I go to the cinema, but some of them are phenomenal.
These ones are actually from Disneyland, so
Yeah.
you can only get these ones at Disneyland. But yeah, the cinema ones, those are popcorn buckets, are really been a big collector's item. I didn't even realize about it either.
Yeah, a lot of storage for them, I guess. Dr. Von Hoot, I had an awesome remix that mixed Living Dead Girl and clips from Evil Dead back in the day. Ooh, very
Nice.
Cool. GP, don't tempt us, mate. He's on about your Oogie Boogie in 1/6 scale. Yeah, I'll probably watch the film and decide I need to have them now. That'll be my next rabbit hole to go down. I'll blame you for that, Rob. Shiny. Question for you both. What's your most valuable comic and which one is your favorite? Ooh, that's a good question, Shiny.
I think yours must be behind you.
Yeah, I think mine. Right? Yeah, mine's my X-Men issue #1 is my most valuable. But my favorite is most likely. I'm not going to embarrass him, but most likely a sketch cover I got from a YouTube friend, which he sent with an image of Thor, and he wrote on the back, "Because you're worthy," and that meant a hell of a lot to us. So that's probably my favorite. How about you, Rob?
The most valuable one would be, believe it, is my lowest graded comic, is that ASM one on the wall back here, this UK Pence variant.
Yeah.
That was also the most expensive book I've ever ponied up for.
It's a lovely book.
My favorite might be my Buck Rogers #4. Just from the 1930s, or no, that was 42. But I love the old classic Buck Rogers books. But it's a hard one to say that's your favorite because there's a lot of favorites. It's like trying to pick your favorite movie or favorite kid.
Yeah, Buck Rogers. I think we might have talked about this briefly before. There's a franchise that I'm surprised is a little bit dead in the water. You don't see much of Buck Rogers these days. You would think with kind of the excitement and nostalgia of old kind of serials and things like that, you would think Buck Rogers is a movie franchise waiting to happen.
You haven't seen anything since the 70s.
Yeah, which is interesting. Okay, Rob, next item, what do you got to show?
All right, let's go with the traditional Funkos, I guess, right?
Funko.
Because so there was for Oogie Boogie, there was of course the original Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
And then I got this customized variant. This was one where I get a seller, I guess they're from the UK actually.
Yeah.
Dark Matter.
Yeah.
And where they took it out and then they hand painted it. And I think it's so much better than the original, obviously.
Yeah.
So there was that. These are all one item for your show. Of course, Oogie Boogie with the wheel. Trying to decide what turn your fate, which you have no idea because you've not seen the movie. But this is a big scene, when Oogie Boogie's singing his big song, his big musical number about being the gambling boogeyman. And of course, then there's the big Oogie Boogie.
Big Oogie Boogie.
Yeah,
that's a candy size, isn't it?
Yes.
So, do you collect a lot of pops, Rob?
Only Nightmare Before Christmas pops.
Okay. Not
So how
something
many
I've ever
pops does
gotten
that mean I
into.
have? It means I have way too many pops because every Christmas time, every fall, there are another
No.
5 to 10
Yeah.
Funkos released with slightly different variants or whatnot for Nightmare Before Christmas because Disney is bound to make sure that we all go broke.
Yeah, absolutely. Pops are not something I've ever really gotten into, to be honest, but I've noticed they've started doing some kind of classic Marvel with I don't know if it's a reprint of the comic behind the figure,
Yes.
which I quite like the look of them.
I got my sister one, a Star Wars one where it was the original movie poster
Yeah,
behind Luke and R2, and because
yeah,
she's super into Star Wars too. Big
yeah. See,
surprise.
I quite like them.
Yeah.
They could be they could be appealing to us, I think. Um,
They're really good. I'm thinking of the fist.
absolutely, Shane. I agree. If you
Well, maybe
can't
a
get your
third.
fist in it, it's not worth buying. That's what I think. But yeah,
Back to tipping whores.
yeah. Oh God. Okay, Rob. So speaking of tipping whores, what is a perfect day for Rob? What would be your what
Oh
if you
God,
could have a
it's
day to
definitely
yourself?
changed. It's definitely changed over time, but I like just a nice day where I can hang. I can either sometimes it's just hanging out here, but ultimately, if I was just someplace is calm, quiet that I can relax out with some. So it's not hot, it's not cold.
Yeah,
It's I can just sit outside, have a nice bourbon,
yeah,
smoke some meat, have some
yeah.
nice barbecue.
Yeah, you're a big
Uh,
barbecue guy, aren't you?
yeah, big barbecue guy. And especially if I can spend it with my wife. I disgustingly disturbing. She's not watching this, but I love my wife immensely. I enjoy spending time with her. I've been with her since we were kids. I was started dating her when I was 16, and I'm much older now.
Yeah, yeah,
And I really enjoy just sitting around hanging out with her, and
yeah.
I'd love to just be able to do that. Yeah.
You know, it's really interesting, Rob, because share some personal information here. I had to take some time off work. I took about two and a bit 3 months off work earlier in the year. Me and my wife for
Hmm.
some issues that were happening with family and stuff.
Right.
Um, and now I'm back at work. I'm really missing that time where we're just spent just doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? But just enjoying each other's company, going for a walk, doing whatever we wanted to do, you know.
Yeah.
And it really just put things in perspective a little bit. And there's, you know what, your answer there about just a chilled day. Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. We've done Florida on a couple of occasions now, and people say to you, "What was the best park? What was the best day?" and stuff like that. And I always say it wasn't any of the big parks. It was I don't know if you've heard of Discovery Cove,
Hmm.
which is just a chilled. You do nout. You just lie in the water,
I'm not.
bob around. You know?
I'm not a big fan of big crowd. I'm not a big fan of being around lots of people.
Yeah.
So I especially much prefer like we go someplace we go to wine country, we go to a small vineyard and
Mm,
go hang out there, or go to the woods, or or even just hang out in our backyard or something. I
yeah.
like small groups, small places that we can go and hang out. And it's like
Yeah.
great. Now I can no longer talk nice things like that because now my wife is home. I don't want
Oh,
her thinking that
yeah.
I adore
Yeah.
her and
Absolutely.
get it stuck in her head that somehow I'm like enamored and in love with her,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then life is miserable.
Yeah.
So yeah, so we can't talk about
What
that anymore.
what we'll do is I'll go
Hi,
back.
baby.
What we'll do is I'll go back on this video, Rob, and we'll dub over all the nice
Okay,
stuff you
good,
said.
good. Yeah,
We'll,
just
you know, we'll,
stretch it out. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
yeah. Just jump into the comments. GP, can't believe I haven't seen the movie yet, mate. I will watch it. Actually, I've got a date to myself tomorrow, so I might try and catch it tomorrow, and then I'll
Nice.
update you and let you know what I think. Fuzzy, I fell into Funko in COVID time and now have 300 Fuzzy. God, mate.
It's very easy, unfortunately, especially when
Yeah.
you're stuck at home and bored.
Get out, Fuzzy. Yeah. And Sean says your day is perfect, Rob.
You say that, but we've done that
Absolutely.
before with comics. I mean, we started just a couple comics. Next thing you know,
Yeah.
now it's like I got I just
Yeah.
look. We'll talk about comics for just a half a second.
Mhm.
I just closed box number filled up box number 31 of slabs. Just slabs. I'm not talking about regular
That's
comics. I'm just like
crazy, Rob.
that's like the
That's
31st box of slabs. Yeah. just got shut and
Obscene.
closed. I just pulled down number 32 and built it so that way I can start.
God, that's a lot of comics, Rob. A lot of comics.
That's it. Those are just slabs.
Yeah. Okay, mate. What else have you got to show?
All right. So we did that. So you know what?
We do have another image at some point. Don't forget.
Yeah. We'll do that one after this.
Yeah.
So you know things are truly a collectible when they make their way into Pez form.
Oh, I love a Pez.
So in my Oogie Boogie glow in the dark Pez dispenser. Yes.
I haven't had a Pez for years. So I don't think Pez's took off in the UK, but every time you went on an overseas holiday to Spain or somewhere like that, they were everywhere, absolutely everywhere. So I had loads of them when I was on holiday and things like that.
Yeah, 35 calories per oh, it's the serving size, one roll. So the entire roll is the serving size. So it means there's only 35 calories, I guess, in that whole roll. So I guess it's not too bad.
It's a diet food then. Yeah, it's a diet food.
Damn right. It's still 9 grams of sugar.
Nah, what's a bit of sugar? You know what I mean? We can deal with a bit of diabetes. I'll be fine.
That's what I keep saying. My doctor says otherwise, but
yeah, me too. Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't even realize I still did Pez. I can't say I've seen Pez over here for.
Oh yeah.
Oh, GP saying Asda sells them now. Asda. Correct us if I'm wrong in the comments, but I think Asda was bought out by. Is it Walmart? Your big chain? I think
Walmart. Isn't Walmart the world's chain at this point?
Yeah, well, I think so. Asda, I think, was bought out by Walmart a few years ago, which is why we still get things like that over here. Maybe I've just not been looking for it. But now I've seen one. I think I need a Pez.
No.
I'm gonna have to go hunting for a Pez. Okay, right. Superb. I like that one a lot, Rob. Next question for you. Mm-hmm. Favorite villain? Who's your favorite bad guy?
Oogie Boogie.
Oogie Boogie. And why? Why do you like Oogie?
I don't know. It's just like in the movie. I just love the way he's just he's chaos first of all, but and like Two-Face, he gambles on his answers and stuff on what he wants to do, and it's just he's a fun character. A lot of singing out from comic books. It's Doc Ock. I love Doc Ock. I think he's phenomenal as a villain, and he's my favorite of the Spider-Man villains. But I just went with Oogie Boogie for you just because that fits our theme.
Yeah. Doc Ock's interesting. I'm not so keen on his recent portrayal, but I'm excited for.
I look over the history of everything as opposed to it's a long history. So.
Fuzzy's saying here that Pez are in most shops. I don't shop myself, Fuzzy. I send people to do that kind of stuff.
Oh, you're fancy. Look at you.
If I do. If I do. I've never spotted
we have Mr. Upper Class over here.
I've never spotted them in Aldi. Okay, I've never seen them in Aldi. So yeah, I'm not sure. Dr. Von Hood, my nephew had one on him last week. Interesting. And Sean is saying, I love that I have thousands of pounds of books behind us and you show these collectibles. That's what this is about, it's cool stuff. Okay, Rob. Now, next thing I wanted to say was we just talked about favorite villain there. And I think we'll probably both agree that probably the biggest villain around is cancer.
Oh, absolutely.
But you're working hard to fight that, aren't you? So tell a little bit about Comics Curing Cancer and how we can help out.
Absolutely. So yes, cancer is the greatest supervillain because everybody on this planet has been directly or indirectly affected by cancer in some shape or form. I can say that I fully believe that every single person has somehow been affected by cancer, and but together we can make a difference. So the Comics Curing Cancer was created. An event created 3 years ago by a gentleman named Cardboard Crazies. Chris created the event. It was something that he was doing a 24-hour thing along with Roscoe and some other folks, and they stayed up for 24 hours straight doing all kinds of different stuff on the one channel to try to raise money for the American Cancer Society. They were hoping to raise like about $2,000, and they managed to raise $8,000. And that was such a success that the American Cancer Society brought it on as an official event campaign. Last year, Chris was having his wife was pregnant and he was going to be having a baby. And so he wasn't able to take it on. And because of a mutual connection, I ended up becoming the caretaker of the event, and we shot out to try to raise $10,000 last year,
Yeah, yeah.
and we ended up raising over 22,000.
Wow. I mean, that's
Shifting it,
amazing.
yeah, we shifted it to a 3-day event, and hosted over a variety of different channels and everything else. So this year we're back. Of course, obviously, year round, my channel, everything that I do from a monetization standpoint, because fortunately, the YouTube gods like me, unlike you, um, they all my pennies that I earn from my channel get donated to Comics Curing Cancer, along with my merch store and everything else that we do. But at the end of the day, it all drives towards our big event, which is coming up October 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Best thing that people can do right now is follow Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram at Comics Curing Cancer to be able to keep up to speed with what's going on. We have several big announcements coming that I can't really talk about yet because contracts are being signed or this, that, and the other thing. Some really big, exciting news. But essentially, the event follows a format where, again, it will be on multiple channels over 3 days. We will post a schedule of where you can find us. There'll be a link tree, all the stuff,
Yeah.
and it'll go from channel to channel as we utilize everybody's different overlapping spheres of influence to maximize our echo, including I don't think we've officially made it official yet, but Triple G is going to be
Yeah.
hosting a segment as well of the show. And what we're doing during those shows, some shows may have small things that they're selling off, like mystery boxes or small little auctions, or they may just be doing their normal show, like when I do only slabs, it's really mostly my normal show, but we talk a lot about Comics
Yeah.
Curing Cancer throughout and encourage people to go make a donation via the link. And the link that we provide goes directly to the American Cancer Society's webpage. There's no third party in between. It all goes directly to them. And then over those first 2 days, anybody who makes a donation of $50 or equivalent, so was that 40 pounds, 35
Yeah.
pounds, something like
The
that?
40 quid. Yeah.
Yeah, so whatever, anybody who makes a donation of that amount or more, their name will get put onto our donor wheel. And then we have a bunch of thank you gifts. So gifts that we may have some gift cards for online retailers, maybe free comic press, might be some Funko Pops, maybe some collected editions or omnibus, or
Yeah.
could be some key issue runs, signed books, etc. These types of things will be put onto our thank you gift wheel. And Saturday night on my channel, we will hang out and we will spin the wheel of the donors and then spin the wheel of what they get, and we'll match those things out and we'll send out a bunch of thank you gifts to those donors.
Yeah.
Sunday, we'll then reconvene back on my channel and we will do our big auction. And that's where we're going to have our bigger items, lots of slabbed books, original art. We have several comic book artists who have donated stuff. Scotty Young.
Wow.
We have stuff from Chris Campagna, Chris Marinin, some other some artists who've done some different stuff. Original art, sketch covers, all kinds of different stuff that we'll be then auctioning off. And again, all those proceeds end up going to Comics Curing Cancer. And the goal, of course, like I said, is to hit 25,000 this year. Is our goal.
Yeah.
So
Phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal work. I'm excited to take part in that, Rob, and I'm excited to see what the final outcome is, because as I've told you before, I'm a cancer nurse by trade. I've been a cancer nurse for 20 odd years, and so this is a fantastic cause and something I'm absolutely behind. If people want to donate, Rob, in terms of financially, they can get in touch with the Comics Curing Cancer as you've just described. We'll put the link in this video. Yeah. If they want to send you stuff for the auctions, the freebies.
So either way, I would say reach out to Comics Curing Cancer on Instagram. Okay. So we do have the link on the Comics Curing Cancer to the portal where you could go and donate today, just like my website does have that too, or my YouTube channel does too. But there's those link, you could go donate money today. And any donations that you made today would count towards that, so you can get ahead of on it. Also, if you have items that you think would be suitable for the donation that you'd like to make a donation of, then you can also reach out to us there. That channel is, or that Instagram is monitored by myself, DJ Links, and Legion of Comics. who are my co-coordinators, and they one of us will then get you the information on how to get it to us. So
spot on, brilliant work, Rob. Brilliant work, and it's going to be a great couple of nights. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Okay, show me your next item before we move on to your next.
All right, so let's go to my last slide then. The items you have. So this item is a Nightmare Before Christmas cuckoo clock.
It's tremendous.
And this is when I saw this, I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta have this." I don't know if you even have the video. Did you?
Yeah, got the video.
All right, so you can play the video of it in action.
I mean, that's phenomenal.
The ghost dog comes out, plays the main theme, and yeah.
Shiny, you've got a beautiful clock. Again, that's something we could put underneath that image of Dr. Von Hoot from earlier. But yeah, that is.
Does it go off? It goes off at the top of the hour.
Yeah, yeah. I zoomed in just to see the detail on that figurine. Well, those figurines, absolutely, beautiful. And I'm loving the fact that you've come on and you're not just showing the comics and things like that. You're showing really unique pieces, stuff I've never seen before. So I'm loving this, loving it. I don't want to put you on the spot, but what kind of value are we looking at something like this, Rob?
Well, when I purchased this item, this was a purchase from the Bradford Mint or something, and so it was like I think this was like a $200 item, like about 10 years ago. So I don't know if it carries any value beyond that. It depends on if there was somebody else who really just wanted one, right? And they can't buy it new anymore. So,
but I guess it carries an awful lot of value for you.
I love it.
Fuzzy, honest as ever. You'll be honest, it would get in his tits.
It's my favorite of the Nightmare Before Christmas clocks in my house. I have more than one.
Oh, of course you do. Of course you do. Okay, Rob, next question for you, mate. Favorite YouTube channel? If you're sitting watching a YouTuber or you're sitting chilling, which channel would you gravitate towards and why?
Other than watching my own,
nobody's ever given us that answer. I suppose well, it's me.
Surprisingly, I watch a lot of my own shit to see am I crazy? What's going on? Is this how can I improve? No, I'll be honest. I probably watch the most stuff that I would sit down and watch. I watch Legion of Comics and the Hangout stuff and DJ Links. His unboxings are phenomenal. His mystery box stuff and it's just great. I enjoy them immensely. They were guys I got connected to very early on in my YouTube journey, and so there's some of my closest friends in the community.
DJ Links' stuff's phenomenal, and he's going to be coming on the show. Hopefully, when I put my post on Instagram, he's messaged to say that he'd be interested in doing an episode. So I look forward to that. Because
I will say though that as far as newer people that I've gotten into, I will have to say that Dr. Von Hoot has just, and I'm enamored. But with the dad jokes to the interactions with Badger and everything else, I mean, I'm ecstatic to sit down and watch Dr. Von Hoot's content, regardless of whether I care what it is that he's unboxing or not. I mean,
big fan of the Von Hoot, been big fan of his from the start. So yeah, he's a tremendous channel. Now, Rob, this is going to put you through your paces. So this is the point in the show where you won't have seen the questions. So
okay, we're not showing off any more items, or
we're going to show off a few more items, but this is going to challenge you.
Okay.
So I asked some of my YouTube and Instagram colleagues to give a few questions for you.
We asked 100 colleagues. Top 5 answers are on the board.
So the first question comes from the man himself, Von Hoot. How much would I have to donate to C3 for you to read Maximum Clonage again and do a review on your channel?
Well, first you would have to supply me with a copy of Maximum Clonage because I refuse to buy it. But no, if you donated £100, I'd suffer through it again.
There you are, Von Hoot, £100, mate. This question, I'm not sure if it's a question or what. I'm not sure. So from all using Scal Rob, I don't know what that means. Do you know what that means? I wasn't sure if that was some kind of, it's a Norwegian kind of salute, I think. But anyway, no idea. Okay, next question comes from the man, the myth, the legend, Fuzzy Dunlop. Fuzzy always gives the Von Hoot's going to send you £100. Marvelous. Fuzzy always gives the most in-depth, hard questions. So I need rapid answers from you here, Rob. All right.
Given that God is infinite, would you like a toasty crumpet?
Yeah. Top 3 mustaches in history. We'll start with that.
Oh wow.
Yours, obviously.
Well, there's so many of those great old Western ones. I can't, when you're looking at some of my favorite, from the American Old West, the Wyatt Earp and well, those things were great. Ulysses S. Grant and had some stuff. I like the big thick ones. I'm not a big fan of like the really thin pencil things, or the toothbrush, of course, that Germany gave a bad name to. But Dick Dastardly. Oh, that's not real.
Oh, Dick Dastardly. No, you can have Dick Dastardly.
Okay, great. Then Dick. Yeah. I do love a nice curly mustache. What can I say? Handlebars.
Good.
Handlebars cool. But if you want to go with it, if you say it for some reason I can't have that because then I'm going to go with Catfish Hunter.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
Catfish Hunter was a baseball pitcher for the Oakland Athletics, or Raleigh Fingers, rather. I'm sorry, Raleigh Fingers, who had a nice handlebar mustache in the 70s. He was a relief pitcher for baseball.
Very cool. Von Hoot's jumping in here. Magnum PI.
Oh, Sam Elliott. Yeah.
That's a good tash. And is your tash inspired, or is it a homage to anybody in particular?
It's not. You know what? I had a traditional, we like to call it the undercover cop goatee for so long, for many, many years. And then not long before the COVID and stuff, I decided to grow a full beard.
Okay.
The running joke was that I bought a Subaru and that they told me I had to either have a top knot or a full beard. And so that was the joke. But so I grew a full beard, and some of my early YouTube videos, people have seen the full beard, very Santa Claus, as I had this big white beard. And along with it, I started growing the mustache out into the handlebars along with it. Then once we were deep in the throes of COVID and I could no longer go to the barber and have it properly maintained and stuff, I decided to go back down to just the goatee. But when I was doing it and shaving it down, I saw it with the handlebars. I said, that's unique. I like it. And that's what I got a lot of compliments on before, was the mustache. And especially from women. So I said, you know what? Because men compliment, when it comes to beards. So here's the thing, guys. If you're thinking about growing a beard, there's a certain length and it's not very long. But when you get to a certain length where the compliments go from being equal, men and women give you compliments if it's well maintained. Women only give you compliments on a beard if it's very well maintained and soft. Scraggly, rough, no. But once you start getting to a certain length, the compliments only come from men.
Right.
Women don't really compliment you on a big lumberjack beard, no matter how soft, how everything else is done. It's very few and far in between. But the mustache, I was always getting compliments on it. I said, let me keep it. It kind of reminded me of, a little Green Arrow and some other stuff. And my wife really liked it. And now I can't imagine not having it. It's.
I mean, that's all lovely, Rob, but unfortunately you got the answer wrong. Fuzzy says the correct answer is Tom Selleck, Fu Manchu, and Stalin, of course. Yeah. Big fan of the tash.
Burt Reynolds had a nice stash too.
Yeah. Tom Selleck is a big one. And also Poirot. Yep. But yeah. To be honest, you didn't think facial hair would be this intense.
Well, there's an honest story. If we really wanted to get into it, Fuzzy, the running joke I used to say when it came to beards was that once I first growing a beard, there were so many products and stuff that I ended up buying. I didn't realize that I had to be such a woman to look like such a man, because all of a sudden I went from having like being a man with a shaved head, I had nothing but water and like maybe a comb, to having like different types of combs and brushes and oils and balms and waxes and all these different things. I was like, oh my, and I need to get a hairdryer with hot and cold settings and all these other types of things. I was like, oh my God.
But at the end of the day, Rob, it's all worth it, isn't it? Look at how magnificent that tash
That's
and
right.
beard are.
That's
You
right.
know?
And
Okay, mate. Next item. What else have you got to show?
so sometimes you, as a fan of anything, you want to have some cereal. So you can have Oogie Boogie cereal,
Of
or
course.
maybe you want some Zeros, or
Yeah.
maybe even some Jack Skellingtons.
What the
Funkos.
shit are we talking about here? Oogie Boogie Funkos. What?
Cereals, yeah.
But that's
That's
luminous green, Rob. When you
so
put your
it's
milk in that, does it turn the milk green?
Oh yes. So it's they're not good tasting cereals, by the way, but it's corn flour with wheat flour and a crap ton of cane sugar.
Good. It sounds
Um,
delicious.
oh yeah, it's 22 grams of carbs. It's
So,
like
so hang on. So, is that stuff that's in the shops now, or is that a collectible you've bought and you've kept the
so
cereal in the box?
these were cereal boxes that were sold like at some of these specialty stores. Like I don't know if you guys would have them necessarily, but over here we have like Spencer's, and we have Spirit Halloween stores sometimes would stock them. So they would have these things. So it's a Funko thing, and or Hot Topic would have them because it's a Funko item. Funko made them. It's got real cereal, and it's got a special Funko in figure inside the bottom, just like the toys the cereal we remember as a kid that would have these toys in the bottom. So yeah.
Have you never been tempted to crack it open and eat it?
Oh, I told you, it's not good.
It's no.
No, it's not good at all. Yeah, trust me. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna hang up on Legion of Comics who's trying to call me via Instagram and tell him to go away. There, I just did.
Good stuff. Okay, Rob. Next question. We're coming to the end. We're starting to wind down now a little bit. And this is completely up to you. This can be advice from a YouTuber. It can be collecting advice, or it can be advice in general for life. If you were to give some words of wisdom from Rob Fatstacks, what would it be?
Yeah, I'll give two different pieces. I'll keep them short. A try. First, from a collecting standpoint, a lot of people recently asked about if you've been watching my Monday mail calls lately. It's been a lot of really big books as of late.
Yeah.
And people go like, Rob, what are you, freaking independently wealthy? What do you are you trust fund millionaire? What's going on? No, I'm not. So I compiled a list of books that I wanted, a varied list of books. And then I did research on those to find out, okay, at different grades, what do they sell for, and where was the value point into where I could get the maximum grade that, or for a dollar, or that I was willing to spend, and what, where was my comfort, and started making all these things and mapping them out, and then started researching them on many different platforms. And I would then pretend to monitor those things. And so by not fixating on a particular thing, I found that I was able to get I was better hitting the value points and getting better value on what I was buying, because I was being adaptable, being flexible. So be flexible in your collecting. Don't become fixated necessarily on like, I only want this one book, and that's the only book I want, and I'm not going to look at anything else until I get another. No, if there's other things, keep an eye, because you don't know when this item is going to come up that's at super great value. But something else. So there you go. That's my piece of advice on that. As far as YouTube goes, what works for me is get yourself a schedule and follow a release schedule. people joke that I'm all over the place. I'm on all these different channels, and I do a lot of YouTube.
Yeah.
Part of that's because I would much rather be on a YouTube in a group chat than be watching and being typing in chat. But
Yeah.
so, but as far as my channel goes, I release 3 things a week. And I have a schedule. It's a Monday, it's a Thursday, and I have a Saturday live show. And that's my schedule. And it's habitual. It makes it very easy for me to manage my channel as a YouTuber and balance it with whatever else is going on in my life. It makes it easy for my audience to know what they're going to expect from me, what they're going to do, and everything else from that aspect. And that consistency long term, I think it does a very good job building up. The other thing is trying to keep your videos, especially your pre-recorded videos, understanding that there's a very sweet spot for growth that for YouTube between the 10 to 18 minute length. That in that range, that is where you're more likely to get videos pushed to the feed and stuff, and more people are willing to click on and watch them versus an hour-long video. Because they want to be invested. And with that, understand that a lot of people watch stuff in high speed. So if you're showing off a book on your screen, hold it a little bit longer than you think you should hold it, because at 2 times speed, that 3 seconds just became 1.5 seconds, and they have no idea what it was. So hold that extra beat or 2, so that when people are watching at high speed, they can still see what it is you're showing off.
That's really interesting, because I mean, well, 2 things. First of all, I completely agree about the kind of the buying habits, because people think that I've got money because I've got some nice books. The truth is, I've got nice books because I've been collecting since I was 15 or something. Do you know what I mean? And I've sold stuff. I don't have a high paid job. I sell stuff and all the rest of it. And much like you, Rob, I kind of I balance what I buy quite well. I think sometimes I'm quite impulsive, but I do balance what I buy quite well. In terms of the YouTube advice, I never even thought about people watching it at high speed, to be honest. So that's really interesting for me personally. I didn't really consider that. So yeah, great advice, mate. Fuzzy's given us some advice here as well. If in doubt, hit it with a hammer. That's always good. Always good advice. And if that doesn't work,
if it doesn't fit, hit it with a bigger hammer.
Yeah. Or ask the wife. Yeah. Sean saying consistency, absolutely, bud. Absolutely. I also follow a schedule. It's daily. Yeah, I do. Sometimes 3 or 4 times a day.
Lucky man. Oh, wait, you're talking about YouTube. Sorry.
Yeah. But my live show, it's consistent Monday. I do a live show every single Monday. Saturdays flex a little bit, but it's been pretty consistent. But my videos, I do a lot of shorts and a lot of videos, and I get excited and put stuff out as soon as I've got that kind of stuff as well. I have videos stacked for probably the next 2 months, 2 a week for the next month. Yeah. But if I buy something new in that I think can't wait, I'll do a kind of a random video to show that off, you know. Yeah, great advice, Rob. Have you got any more items to show? Rob?
Oh, yes.
Show us something else, and then we're nearly at the end. We'll do the last 2 items.
I think I got the last 2. One. Yeah, that's about right, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So again, with the Oogie Boogies, right? So you go to the toys or figurines. So you got like this small little figure, which was really kind of cool because he came with these itty bitty dice to go along because he's a but that's okay because I also got a set of big ones for myself, so I can be Oogie Boogie. But the Oogie Boogie, of course, come in a bigger figurine, action figure type thing. Yeah. His face actually comes off. I'm not going to force it because I don't break it. But you can see there's bugs because you haven't seen the movie yet, but he's filled with bugs. And so there's bugs inside. But this then rolls into this action figure set, which was a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive.
There was only
3,000 of them. And let me see if I can get it without the glare. Hold on, let me turn this on.
Oh, wow, it lights up.
It's all lit up. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see because all the glare from the plastic because I keep it in the box. But it's Oogie Boogie, Sandy Claus, Jack Skellington, and Zero. And they're in Oogie Boogie's lair. So it's the Oogie Boogie layer action set featuring the 4 characters. And there was, like I said, there's only 3. As a matter of fact, there's a seal on the side that shows you that it's sealed. And there was one of 3,000 that were produced of this set.
I don't think I've ever seen a light up box display before. That's quite impressive. I like that.
Yeah.
Where did you say that one was from? San Diego Comic Con, did you say?
This was really, yeah. This is a Diamond Select Toys, and
Yeah.
it was It was a San Diego Comic Con item that was exclusive. Yep.
Very nice. I like that, Rob. I like that.
My LCS was kind enough to pick up for me because I didn't go down there, but they were sent somebody down there, and they said, "Hey, Rob," because they knew that I do these things. This is available. Do you want us to get you one? And I said, "Hell yeah!"
Yeah. Very cool. What else have you got? Shows whatever your last couple of items
all
are,
right.
mate.
So also they make games. So like there's an Oogie Boogie Yahtzee.
At this point, Rob, I have to say I think you need some kind of intervention. All right. I'm starting to get
And
oh my god.
Operation.
Oogie Boogie Operation.
Yes, you can operate on Oogie Boogie. Of course, there's other non-Oogie Boogie ones because there's also like Clue. And of course, if there's a board game made, there's a Monopoly version.
Yeah, Monopoly.
But there's also one of the greatest games I think ever. There's a Munchkin. If you've ever played Munchkin.
I've never heard of Munchkin.
Oh, Munchkin's a great game. Oh, yeah. If you don't know,
not heard of Munchkin.
Munchkin's a game that originally started off basically. It's like Dungeons and Dragons, except without having to do character creation. So it was like you just go into the dungeons and kick down doors and fight monsters along the way and try to team up with other players or not work against them.
I might have to look into that because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons.
I'll tell you what. I will send you a link to a video. There's a video from a series called Tabletop that Will Wheaton used to host, and where he plays this. It's like a 45-minute version where they condense and they explain the game as they play through it. It sold me on it, and since I played it, it's great. My kids love it. And then there's of course all kinds. There's Trivial Pursuit, and there's all kinds of these games. So different games with that. And then the last item I'll show, just to show how weird some of the depth everything goes, because you also have household items. So we have blankets and throw pillows for your couch and stuff that are all done up.
Rob, do you by any chance like Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, just a little bit. I should have put on my Nightmare Before Christmas baseball jersey. Damn it.
We'll do it again. But we'll start again.
Everybody go home. We'll come back in 10 minutes. We'll redo this whole thing. I'll just decide which one of the two, because I do have more than one. Naturally. Yeah. I also have a Nightmare Before Christmas bowling shirt, but
PJs? Yeah. Have you got PJs? Have you got a onesie or something?
I don't have a onesie.
You do.
Yeah. But I do have some jammies. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to jump to the chat here for the last few comments of the night. Fuzzy Dunlop.
Oh. My wife's no. Oh, you're going to put it on. My wife's going to come. Oh, she's going to sneak back here with one of my jerseys on. Hold on. My wife's putting my clothes on. Does that mean I get to take them off?
You see, that's fine, but if you put her clothes on, it's a whole other issue, isn't it? That's the problem.
That's a different level of role play. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Here she comes. There we go.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Hello, Mrs. Fat Sacks.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Nice.
Very nice.
Sorry.
Yeah. Very cool. Oh, that's tremendous, Rob. You've very, very cool. Fuzzy saying he's never dreamed of watching a video at 2 speed. Yeah, me neither, mate. I'll have to check that out.
1.5 to 2, depending upon the individual. It makes it a lot easier to get. If you try to sit through a bunch of people, you want to keep up with people's stuff. There's so much stuff to do. Yeah. It's just much easier. I find it that way too.
So I mean, I'm probably like yourself, Rob. I've got a lot of YouTube friends now, and I kind of feel like you've got to watch everybody's stuff to give them the like and the comment.
I try to watch bits and pieces where I can.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I have another monitor because I work from home 4 days a week. Most of the time, stuff is playing on another monitor where at least it's playing and I can look over when I get a chance. Yeah. I don't always get a chance to comment or whatever else on it from that way. But then I do try to go around different people's videos from time to time, and I'll go through them in faster where I can pay more attention.
Yeah.
So I just have an idea what's going on. Yeah,
there's just so much. Sean saying likability, absolutely, Sean. Shiny, love the format of this show. Talk shit, show shit, talk shit, show shit. It's rad. Good stuff. That's the whole point, mate. I'm pleased you're enjoying it.
Fist a popcorn bucket and and tip a whore. Got it.
and don't forget, fist and Oogie Boogie. I've genuinely never seen a box that lights up ever. Me neither, mate. And And you know what I'm like, Fuzzy? I feel now that I'm missing out. I feel like I need a one. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how. Absolutely loving this, but was expecting comics. That's the whole thing of this show, Sean. I really don't want it to just be comics. That's why we're kind of getting toy guests on, comic guests, and it's about collectibles, not necessarily just comics. But yeah, I'm
And
glad you're enjoying it, mate.
And I really thought that, you know what, people have seen me show comics before, and I show
Yeah,
comics every day on my channel, and stuff. And I'm happy to come back on and show comics another time. But I've talked about my Nightmare Before Christmas stuff, and people have wondered about it.
yeah.
But and every once in a while, they might even catch a glimpse of, some
Oh
Nightmare
my
Before
lord,
Christmas
he's got
stuff.
body art
But,
as well.
but, but,
I'm starting to worry about you, Rob. I'm
but
starting
no,
to
but
worry.
nobody, but I've never really gotten into showing too much of it other than one or two shorts. And I thought it was a great opportunity to give you the exclusive.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And
Or as
Sean's
sometimes
saying,
you like to say, and now for something completely different.
yeah. Yeah. And Sean's saying, what a collection it absolutely is. Fuzzy's saying, Fuzzy, I'm going to take a wild guess and say he's got it. But
Yes.
Nightmare Before
Yes.
Christmas, Uno, you've
Yeah.
got it? Of course he's
Yeah.
got
There's
it.
one of
Of
those
course
around
he's got
somewhere.
it. Yeah. Dead Man spotted that most of your games are sealed.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's because these are variants, right? That are
yeah.
I have, like, for all these games for Yahtzee and Munchkin, and I have the original versions of the games, but these are collectible versions of the games
Yeah.
for my collection. Yeah.
Dead Man saying, I'll never get monetized at this rate. Not with tipping whores, I certainly won't. Fuzzy, don't even watch. Yeah. I know a lot of people who do that, Fuzzy. They don't think I
Well,
know, but I know a
about
lot.
that monetization thing, though, at least it is original content.
Absolutely. I bet there's not much whore tipping in
No.
fisting fuzzy
So
buzzy
let's be
things.
honest. I mean, in reality, it might help you get monetized.
I'll point these videos out in my next appeal video. I say, look at this. Look at this. This is the high-end quality content you get from Triple G Comics. Dr. Von Hoot, I'll take your lighter box and I'll raise you a piece of... Oh, God. Dr. Von Hoot, when he was on here, showed her a piece of wood that he claims is from one of the Evil Dead movies. It looks like somebody's bought in B&Q. Do you know what I mean? But it's... Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure.
Yeah. I have a cup full of air that was...
once breathed by Elvis. Yeah. Okay, mate. Last thing for you to do tonight, for tell me what's coming up on your channel and tell me where people can find you.
Yeah, so you can find me on YouTube and Instagram at robs.fatstacks. And on my channel, of course, as I mentioned, I do unboxings on Mondays and Thursdays. Mondays is my mail call. Thursdays can be a variety of things: CGC, submission returns, mystery boxes, other types of things. And then Saturday, I do a show called Only Slabs, where we have guests such as Triple G on the channel who come on and show off some of their slabbed comic books and tell the stories about those books and why they're important to them, the collection of all that stuff. We get to learn a little bit about these collectors through their collection.
Yeah.
Anyway, of course I give away a lot of stuff. Right now, coming up, on Thursday this week, I just did a video that dropped that was a CGC and CBCS signature series. So I had some books that were signed at a signature event, as well as some books and some art commissions that had already been done that I sent to CBCS for signature verification.
Okay.
That those things came back. And I talk a little bit about on that video about art labels, because when I do commission sketch covers, I don't necessarily have them graded. I get them just certified and verified and have them put an art label, which some people don't know is a thing, so as not to distract from the art itself.
Do CGC do that? Or
no,
is it just...
because they don't do, because they will do an art or a no grade label on something that's witnessed, but they don't do a verification after the fact type thing. And so then,
sorry, the reason I'm asking, Rob, is because I've just had 2 books back from CGC that were from Aaron Bartlett.
Yeah,
did that. Yeah, so I got 2 commissions from him. He's done the artwork. He's then sent it to CGC, and one of the books has come back as an 8.0. Spoiler for a future video. And the grading notes say that there's what's how to describe it. Can't remember the exact wording, but basically what it reads as is when he's drawn on the cover, some of the ink has gone through to the inner cover and they've graded us down for that. Yeah. And I kind of think, that's a bit of a kick in the nuts. If I'd had an art label on that, I'd be much happier,
Yeah.
It's still a beautiful book.
And that's exactly what I talk about. It's like you get a grade on a comic book because that's going to set it apart from other books. Whereas on a one-of-a-kind commission piece, you don't need a grade on it. The art is what sets it
Yeah.
apart from everything else. And I don't want it to come back as an 8.0 or something else where all of a sudden now somebody fixates on that
Yeah.
rather
Yeah.
than on the stunning piece of art that's been done. So
Yeah.
it's a great thing. And then so Monday, this coming Monday mail call, I will continue with the series of amazing books as I will be unboxing what is arguably one of the single most important books from the Silver Age.
Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Well, I look forward to seeing that one. I look forward to seeing that. Rob, thank you so much. This has been an absolute pleasure. I think you're superb. I love your channel, but it's been
Appreciate you,
really,
sir.
really nice learning a little
I
bit more
appreciate
about
you
your
bringing
channel.
me onto your channel and being part of your Saturday things
Oh,
because I love that this audience has then also adopted only slabs, and so many of the folks that are here that are your part of your core audience that I've seen now taking part on only slabs in the chat and stuff. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for coming over and being a part of that, and what I'm sure you guys will do, if nothing else, helping us just to share information about comics curing cancer. If nothing else, that helps
absolutely.
us.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. So you are now part of the This Is My alumni.
Ooh.
So thank you very much for joining that. I just wanted to say, if anybody who's watching now or watching on the rewind would like to take part in this show, Rob, if there are any of your colleagues who you think would like to take part, please do spread the word. I'm always looking for other guests. So please do shout.
I know how that goes.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Just a quick reminder, Monday night over on my channel, we are doing our Geek art attack with Ian Richardson. Myself and some of the UK YouTubers will be put through our paces trying to draw images of the X-Men in under a few minutes. So please do watch that. And as ever, send in your viewer images as the night goes on, and I'll put them on display on the show. And that is your whack. Can I just say this was a stunning show? Really enjoyed it. Thank you to Rob in particular, and thank you so much to all of the chat. It's been popping tonight. You've been absolutely buzzing. We've got loads of comments, so thank you. Really do appreciate that. Great guest, smashing job, Rob. Been a pleasure. And
Don't forget to go to cbcawards.org. Have your voice heard, regardless of who you vote for. But of course, support all these fine folks in the chat and everybody else who's there. But have your voice heard more than anything else.
Absolutely. Okay, we'll call it a night there. Thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, Rob. And we'll catch you all next time. Take care, everybody. Bye now.